Eddie House, Amina Smith here with you, and the Celtics win this one 123-119, and the Celtics led by as much as 14 in this game, Eddie, but it was a back and forth battle between Boston and Chicago. What stood out to you in this one?
What stood out was the second unit. The second unit stepped up tonight. They played together extremely well, and I think we all seen it. It was just a different energy when they were on the court together. And I'm talking about the group of Brogdon, Cornette, Hauser, Tatum, and Williams. They moved the basketball. They kept moving the ball. They moved their bodies on offense. And then on defense, they just played with a different energy. And I think that propelled them, and that energy was infectious for the starters as well. But it was that second unit. You got to tip your cap off to them to come out after not having such a great game last game, to come out and play the way they did. But then also, let's talk about Malcolm Brogdon and the way he came out and played. Again, you might have thought he was wearing white shoes, but those spray painted white, but he kept the check black. He kept the check black because there was forces. There was black forces, but they were spray painted, but he kept the check black.
The way he was bullying guys out there on the court, he was playing like he had them black forces on. All right, speaking of Malcolm Brogdon, let's send it out to Abby Chin, who's with Malcolm Brogdon right now.
Malcolm, a little close for comfort, but what did you guys learn about winning here tonight?
We finished the game. I think our losses this season, most of them have been close games. We weren't able to finish coming down the stretch, so this is improvement for us.
You took ownership of that reserve group after the loss in Chicago. That group changed the game tonight. Does that make you proud?
It does, man. I'm proud of my guys. We came in, we were ready to play. We provided our team with a lift. That's what we're there for.
Specifically, you guys found something with that group. You along with JT, Grant, Luke, and Sam Hauser. Why was that so impactful?
I think we were just being unselfish, playing with pace, just getting good shots, good looks every time down, and getting stops.
For you specifically, you came in aggressive going to the rim. What were your intentions?
Try to set the tone for that second group, attack the Chicago team, put them on their heels a little bit.
Finally, how do you take this momentum into a matchup tomorrow night against the Knicks?
We're playing a physical team tomorrow, so I think we were the more physical team tonight. We got to carry that physicality over to tomorrow night.
Malcolm, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Malcolm Brogdon mentioning it again, playing with pace and also getting stops out there on the court. 24 points and 4 assists for him in this matchup. Eddie, how did that show up going into that third quarter?
I think what he understood was the fact that they don't have any shot blockers, and I spoke to that early. When you know that a team doesn't have any shot blockers, you could put an immense amount of pressure on their interior defense, and you got to continuously get paint touches, as many paint touches that you can get. And if you can score, you score. If not, you collapse the defense and you make plays for other. But once he started getting it, it just got real good to him, and he seen that nobody could stop him. And again, he looked down at his shoes. He looked at their shoes. He was like, you know what? I'm the guy out here tonight.
You know, I remember Malcolm Brogdon saying that he feels comfortable here in Boston because he doesn't have to be the guy. He doesn't have to be the starter. He's coming off of the bench. But how much of that starter mentality comes out of Malcolm Brogdon every time he hits the court? Because I feel like he plays with a different energy than we see most guys come off the bench with.
Well, that's what he's supposed to say. He's supposed to say all the right things, but in his mind, he believes he still is a starter. He still has that mindset of a starter. So when you have been a starter for the longest period of time and then you coming off the bench, he, instead of taking it as like, man, that's a knock on my game. No, he's looking at it as like, it's an advantage. It is an advantage because you get to see how the game is flowing. You understand how the game is going on. You understand where you can pick and choose your spots to be aggressive and where you can other guys involved. Who's not playing defense, what kind of defense the other team is playing. So he's using it to his advantage, and it's a great thing for the Celtics.
Let's talk a little bit about Jayson Tatum as well. 36 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists. And we mentioned in the pregame show, you said it, Eddie, that when Jayson Tatum has more than 8 rebounds or is going around 8, 9, 10 rebounds, he's going to have a good game. What did you see out of Jayson Tatum in this matchup?
Again, just being aggressive and being engaged. Aggressive is the main key to me, is just not settling, just making sure that he's going to go where he wants to go, not allowing the defense to dictate to him, and then he just say, okay, I'm going to settle for a jump shot here. No, if I want to take a jump shot, I'm going to take a jump shot. If I want to get to the basket, I'm going to get to the basket. Matter of fact, if that ball's coming off the rim, I'm going to go get that rebound for my squad. That's what I like about Jayson Tatum, and that's what I like about this Jayson Tatum is that he's understanding that he is more physical than he has ever been. We have never seen the physicality that Jayson Tatum is showing right now. We've never seen that before because he is maturing into his body, his grown man body, and he's out there getting grown man buckets, getting grown man rebounds, and being a grown man out there to everybody else.
Yeah, Tatum is definitely hitting a new level this season. Let's bring in Scal, who's live inside of TD Garden to talk about Jayson Tatum and so much more. And Scal, you take a look at Tatum. He got to the line 20 times, 17 to 20 from the free throw line. How did that impact winning in this matchup?
I'll tell you, and I said it multiple times, maybe I beat a dead horse on this one. I love Tatum and the bench group. Tatum, Brogdon out there. They have like a mindset, like those guys like Hauser, Luke Cornett, Grant Williams, they understand we want to move the ball with an emphasis to get the ball to Tatum and Brogdon. Those guys have space because Hauser provides that. Cornett's a good passer. Grant Williams a great shooter. So when Tatum was in with that group, and that's exactly, Eddie's talking about grown man buckets. Like Tatum had that swag with that group. Like, yeah, I have to carry this team. And he looks so natural doing it. So that is where this game was won. And that version of Tatum is what really got this game going in the right direction for the Celtics.
And I heard you mention that on the broadcast, Gal, when you talk about that lineup with Cornett, Grant Williams, Tatum out there, Hauser out there as well. But Eddie, just what did the Celtics get right with that lineup? Why was it so successful?
It was successful. It wasn't that they did anything that they aren't able to do. What they did was go out there and play the game of basketball. Nobody was out there with an agenda. Everybody was out there playing whatever it was their role is supposed to be. They accepted it and went out there and did it and was a superstar in their role. Everybody was a superstar in their role with that unit. And to me, in that second quarter, in that third quarter, when things got away from the Chicago Bulls, it was because of that unit right there. And to me, that's the way the Celtics have to play. They have to play selfless basketball, and that's on both ends of the court. And that's what they did tonight. And, I mean, Hauser came in and did his job. Cornett did his job. I mean, he might not show up on the stat sheet, but we seen what he did. You know, and that was important. Everything he did, the handoff to the screen, rebounding, being there in the right places at the right time, allowing guys to get open and stuff like that. So, to me, that unit was the superstars of the game tonight. Yeah, of course, Jayson Tatum is a superstar in itself. Brogdon did what he did, but that unit alone, I think they could have played a few more minutes for my liking. I love the way they play.
And Scal, I mentioned at the top of the show that the Celtics, they led by as much as 14 in this game, but it was a back and forth battle between Boston and Chicago. Why wasn't Boston able to pull away a little bit more down the stretch?
Well, so the starters, on October 24th, the starters were great to start that game. You remember they went up big and the bench came in and they were garbage. They were a minus 65 on the night. Why? Today, the starters were a negative. You got Brown was at minus 13, Al Horford minus 13, Derek White, Marcus Smart minus 10. So today the bench saved them. So why did Chicago creep back in? Because, you know, they brought the starters back and it just was a little bit slower. Like they just, you know, they dribbled the ball a little bit too much and they didn't move it just as quick as the other group did. So listen, every game has a life of its own. I'm sitting here telling you about that group and I'm sure we're going to go crazy over that group because all the stats are going to show that the net rating is off the charts and all that. But then the next game it might have a different feel. That's just, Eddie understands this because, you know, you're a bench player and all of a sudden one night you guys got it rolling, you try to do this exact same thing the next night and it doesn't work. I liked what they did today. The starters could have took a lesson from that, but today the starters weren't moving the ball. They weren't making that extra pass. They were taking that extra dribble. And besides, I thought Malcolm Brogdon, when he would play a little bit of minutes with the starters, it didn't feel like they were great today. So it's just how it goes. Got the win. Didn't shoot well, but got the win. Now you move on to New York.
Eddie, with that bench experience, how does the bench find that consistency? Because 41 points tonight from that bench unit, I would like to see that more often out there on the court.
Yeah, we would love, everybody would love to see that. And like Scal alluded to, you might not see that on a night-to-night basis. And I think that's the challenge that Joe Mazzulla is going to come up with, is to understand that, hey, when my bench has it rolling, sometimes I got to let that go until I start seeing it go the other way. And if it doesn't go the other way, hey, my starters could chill. They could have ice on their knees. We could rest because we got another game tomorrow, and we won't have to even put those guys out there. And everybody it's a win-win for everybody. The bench players get more and more confidence. The starters get rest. They're able to just sit back and relax. And then it's just it's a collective feel-good feeling for the whole team, top to bottom, and then you feel like you pressed the right button. So it's all a learning experience for Coach Joe Mazzulla and everybody that's out there, and for the bench to understand this is what our job is, and this is how we got to go out there and play. It might not work every single night, but for the most part, if you stay consistent with it, it should work more than it doesn't.
Yeah, a characteristic of a team that's looking to win a championship. All right, let's hear from Joe Mazzulla right now.
Joe, you said the other night you feel like this group needs to get back to finding ways to figure out how to win. What did you guys figure out tonight?
We were very intentional in our late game execution on both ends of the floor. DeRozan's a great player, and I know we fouled him a couple times, but I thought we were doing our best to show our hands on the defensive end. And offensively, we were intentional about our spacing, we were intentional about our attack, and as I told them, great players and great teams make plays at the end of the game, and I thought our guys did that.
I mean, Jayson made some great plays. Another huge game for him. What kind of level is he playing at right now?
Just doing what it takes to win on both ends of the floor, whether it's screening, rebounding, passing, playing defense. I thought all our guys did that tonight as well. D. White's shot was huge. JB passed to him. Smart's rebound was huge. And so all the guys just kind of play the right way and want to win.
And then your bench tonight, 41 points from that group, led by Malcolm Brogdon, of course. You found a little something with a funky group, including Luke and Grant, but just what kind of lift did they give you?
Yeah, if you want to have a great team, you got to have different identities and you have to have depth, and we have both of those. And so our second unit brings speed, it brings energy, and it brings shooting, and the guys really compete. And so I think they complement the starters well, and I think as a team we're just well balanced and we're diverse.
Joe, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for the time.
Yep.
The Celtics with a win inside of TD Garden. A look at that final score, 123-119.